Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Rogue Eye Media video. My name is Alex Schlerf, and today we are going to be discussing the cast of Avengers Doomsday. Not necessarily the names that were already announced in the little cast announcement they did, 2 or 3 weeks ago now, but more trying to fill out the rest of the cast and seeing, what names will kind of, because we know for a fact that the 25 names that they announced are not going to be the final names. There's going to be more names in the cast. RDJ has teased it. Marvel's teased it. Every reliable, deadline variety, whatever has said that will be more members of this cast, obviously. And a lot of very prominent Marvel superhero names were left out. So I made a list of kind of a couple tiers where I'm going to say which ones I think are 100% likely to return, very likely to return, 50-50, and then very unlikely to return. So, and then I didn't really list people that like are just have no chance because there's no point listing them. But yeah, I'm gonna just go through these names, explain kind of a little bit about each of them, and myself try to kind of fill out the rest of the cast. Like I said, I think there's 25 names in the cast right now. So if I were to guess, there'd be about 25 more, maybe 20 to 30 more names that are going to be either announced or confirmed in some way between now and next year when the movie comes out, or I guess end of the year when the trailer comes out. So I'm going to go through this list right now. Before we start, actually, I'm just going to real quick list who all has been confirmed. And then we'll go through the ones that I think, my tiers and all that. So obviously we have Robert Downey Jr. playing Victor Von Doom or Doctor Doom. We have Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Eben Moss Bachrach as Ben Grimm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, Wyatt Russell as John Walker, Sebastian Stan as Bucky Barnes, Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova, Lewis Pullman as Sentry, David Harbour as Red Guardian, Hannah John Kamen as Ghost, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, Tenoch Huerta Mejia as Namor, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, Kelsey Grammer as Beast, Daniel Ramirez as Falcon, Winston Duke as M'Baku, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, Rebecca, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Rebecca Romijn as Mystique, James Marsden as Scott Summers, Cyclops, and then Channing Tatum as Gambit. So those are the names that we know for sure are going to be in it from the announcement that was on whatever it was last month. Last month's announcement, the Doomsday Cast announcement, all the chairs, those are the names we got. So I've made a list of again a couple tiers of names that I think are either 100% returning, very likely to return, 50-50, and or probably unlikely. So four different tiers. I'll obviously start with 100% returning. I'm probably not going to go super into depth about every single character because this would just take forever, but I'll talk a little bit about each of them, kind of explain my reasoning. So real quick, to start off the bat, 100% returning, I have Chris Evans and Haley Atwell. Obviously, Chris Evans played Captain America. Haley Atwell was Agent Carter. The reason I have them as 100% returning is because we've been reported by, I think it was Deadline about 3 or 4 months ago that both of them would be in this movie. So it's been reported by the trades. So they're going to be in this movie. It was kind of weird they weren't in the announcement. I'm not really sure why, but we know they're going to be in this movie. This is 100% returning. Like these two, we know literally for these other ones, I'm kind of just assuming, but these ones we know for a fact. Chris Evans and Haley Atwell are both going to come back because they've been reported by the trades. It's yet to be seen if Chris Evans will be the same Captain America we know from the MCU, or whether he'll be from another timeline, or whether he'll be Johnny Storm, or whether he'll be Nomad. We don't know. I talked about it in another video, so you can go check that out. But same with Haley Atwell. We don't know if she's gonna be Captain Carter, Agent Carter, no idea. But they're both in it. They're going to be in the movie. So next in the list, or I'll kind of group these together. I have two of the original six Avengers, which is Mark Ruffalo as Hulk and then Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. So I put them on there because I just see really no scenario that you leave out two of the original six Avengers in the next Avengers movie. I don't see any narrative reason why they'd miss out on this conflict. I don't see any reason they would miss this movie and be the next one. Like Hawkeye and Hulk, there's no reason they won't be in this movie. I'd be shocked if they weren't. So I put them at 100% because they're original Avengers. The actors are obviously going to be down to come back. So another list of names that was weird that they weren't in the cast announcement. But Hulk and Hawkeye will obviously be back, and so I put them on there. Uh, Another one that I'm putting in 100%, but maybe it's in between 100% and very likely would be Brie Larson and Tiana Paris. Obviously, Brie Larson plays Captain Marvel. Tiana Paris plays Monica Rambeau. Both are in the Marvels, and the reason I'm putting Monica on here is because we've seen that they're clearly going to explore this alternate X-Men timeline that we saw, spoiler, at the end of the Marvels. Because Kelsey Grammer Beast is coming back, all these X-Men characters are coming back. All the rumors we've heard is that it could be a potential Avengers vs. X-Men where these two timelines are coming together with an incursion and they have to fight each other. Just a rumor, but they're clearly exploring the end of the Marvels because Kelsey Grammer Beast is coming back, and that's kind of how it feels they're going to bring the X-Men in. So if that's the case, the only reason that they're even showing up in the first place because Monica is there, and our heroes are going to probably want to get Monica back, especially Miss Marvel and Captain Marvel. So if they're exploring that storyline, there's no reason she wouldn't come back. It'd be very odd, and I think there's 100% chance that she's coming back in this movie. And same with Captain Marvel, just because like if you're gonna follow up on a huge post-credit scene from the Marvels, you should have Captain Marvel as well. And also, it's Captain Marvel. Like it'd be very odd to leave her one of your top heroes out of this big Avengers conflict, and that storyline being, you know, kind of being more prominent than maybe most people expected would lead me to believe that she is going to be in this as well. And in the same vein, I also put on 100% returning Amon Villani as Miss Marvel, because again, she was in the Marvels, big character in the Marvels. They're clearly following up on that. That storyline of trying to get Monica back. I'm sure she's going to feel a little bit of guilt over that. And we'll kind of get into the whole Young Avengers champion side of this as well, in the very likely side, but that's another reason that she'll come back. So, yeah, I see no reason Miss Marvel won't be in this. She's also one of the most like beloved new characters from this multiverse saga, so it'd be weird for her not to be in it. So yeah, Amon Villani, Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, I think 100% will be back. Um, so three names left on here. I put Tom Holland on here because like it's Spider-Man. Maybe he'll only be a supporting character, maybe he'll only have a small role, but it's Spider-Man. You don't leave Spider-Man out of the biggest, event, the big Avengers crossover. It's their biggest IP. I think it's the Russo brothers' favorite characters. Like they aren't being left out of this film, or Tom Holland is not being left out of this film. I'd be genuinely shocked if he was left out of this film. I know there's been rumors about like um Spider-Man 4, Brand New Day is going to be a prequel. Don't read too much into those. It's not going to be a prequel. It's not going to take place at the same time. It's not going to like it's going to be in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. And if the next movie after Doomsday is Spider-Man's movie, there's no reason he would not be in the movie before. So Spider-Man is going to be in this. I'm very confident about that. I also put Benedict Cumberbatch on here. Maybe if there was a Doctor Strange 3 coming out in between the two, I could see him missing out of this conflict, and then that would kind of explore what he was doing. But by the way, this is just for Doomsday. I'm not talking about Secret Wars. Like some of these could not be in Secret Wars, and some people are going to die. Obviously, all that. I'm just putting this for Doomsday. But yeah, obviously Doctor Strange is like your number one multiversal hero right now, which again is just so odd they did not reveal him in this cast reveal. There had to be some reason for that, and maybe contract things or something, but no need to dwell on that. But yeah, you got your like number one multiversal hero. He literally starred in a movie called Multiverse of Madness, and that post-credit scene obviously teased him and Clea, Charlize Theron, who actually I don't think I have Charlize Theron on this list. I should. She should be 100% as well because that the storyline in Multiverse of Madness post-credit scene was her seeking out Strange and saying, "You caused an incursion, let's go fix it," and they went together. So obviously she'll be back as well. I guess I didn't have her on here. Let me just do this for logging's sake. Yeah, so Charlize Theron, Benedict Cumberbatch, obviously will both be back. And then my last one on here was Lashana Lynch, who, if you don't know, is well in the MCU in Captain Marvel, she played Monica's mom, Maria Rambeau. And then obviously we learned that she died. Well, she blipped away. Well, she Monica blipped away, and then she died in the blip. So not that version of the character. And then obviously we saw a variant Multiverse Madness. But again, at the end of the Marvels, we saw her playing some X-Men variant. And that's again, if they explore that storyline, which there's no reason to believe they won't, then there's no reason she would not come back, even for the smallest role possible. So I put her on 100% returning as well because of that fact. Geez, excuse me. Um, so yeah, I put her on there because I know it's like not a huge name or a huge character, but she was in the Marvel's post credit scene, and I believe that storyline will be followed up very much. So again, my 100% returning: Chris Evans, Haley Atwell, Mark Ruffalo, Amon Villani, Jeremy Renner, Tom Holland, Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, Benedict Cumberbatch, Lashana Lynch, and Charlize Theron. So now moving into the very likely. There's a lot of names on here, so I'll probably go through these a little bit quicker. But the first name on the list for me is Benedict Wong, and I'm not sure if the set photos are real, but he also like was kind of spotted on the set of Doomsday if that leak was real. So again, it's Wong. He could kind of take on a role of recruiting people. Obviously, now he has connections to Shang-Chi with that post-credit scene and Hulk and Captain Marvel. So, if there's a big conflict, and especially Strange being involved, again, this is one of those characters where like if there is a big multiversal conflict going on, like there is going to be in Doomsday, Wong's going to be in it. So I put him in very likely, not 100%, but very likely. Paul Bettany as Vision, I put on here. We know that the Vision series is filming right now. The Vision TV series is filming right now and going to release sometime in 2026. The reason he's in very likely and not 100% likely is because I don't really know what's going on with that series. We know that James Spader's returning as Ultron. We know that there's a couple other cast members, but we know like who's show running it, but we don't really know much about that show at all. So, there's a chance that it takes place before Doomsday and something happens to make him not be in Doomsday, or there's a chance that it takes place between Doomsday and Secret Wars. There's a reason that he isn't in Doomsday. So that's why I'm kind of saying like it's very likely because he has a show coming out in next year and it's obviously a prominent character, but I just hard to say right now. That's why it's very likely, but I'm pretty confident that he would be in it. So, regardless of how big the role is. So yeah, he's in very likely. Tatiana Maslany as She-Hulk. Obviously, this is the character that received a lot of just hate online from people and not really for good reason. And the show was not very well received, but one of your big multiverse saga characters, the new ones, I mean, and if Hulk's in it, you'd think he would bring in She-Hulk as well. I think there is a section of the fan base that does love this character, and I think she is a very beloved actor, and I do think it'd be kind of surprising to see her miss out on this. I guess that's why it's very likely because there was the backlash with the character, but they clearly intended for She-Hulk to be in this movie. So, and there's been a couple rumors in that front too, so I think she'll be in it. I put Don Cheadle as War Machine. Um, Another one where he was in Secret Invasion and it very flopped very much critically and with the fans, and then supposed to be in Armor Wars and be the lead, but that is kind of just like halted production. That's definitely not happening anytime soon, if it's happening at all. Apparently, a couple of those concepts are repurposed into the Vision Quest series. So the name of the Vision series is Vision Quest, I think. Yeah. So yeah, I put War Machine on here because again, it's another one of your legacy characters that it would be strange if they were left out of it. I think if Don Cheadle is available and can do it, he would be down to do it, and it'd be awesome to see more of a War Machine because very odd kind of storyline went on with him in Secret Invasion, which is just terrible. And then we don't know if Armor Wars is happening. So I want to see more of him, so that'd be awesome. Um, this one is one that a lot of people probably won't agree with, but my next one, very likely, is Kirilenko. Sorry, Olga Kirilenko. That's Taskmaster, who is about to be in Thunderbolts in a couple weeks. And I know that the reason this will probably be very unpopular is because first off, people don't like her character, and I guess her characterization, and the fact that she's not been in a lot of the promos for Thunderbolts. They've been removing her a lot of stuff and adding her to a couple things, and in terms of like digitally editing her in trailers, I mean. So a lot of people think she's gonna die in Thunderbolts. I don't really see it as much as other people do. Part of the reason is because I saw a quote from the director, that said that they were intentionally doing that in the promos, intentionally kind of playing with Taskmaster's role. And I think it's more likely, and I'm not speaking from like a leak standpoint. I have no idea if this is the case. I'm just theorizing, but I think it's more likely that she's just working for Val instead, and she's not on the Thunderbolts team. But that's a discussion for today. But my point is that if she survives Thunderbolts, I don't see why she wouldn't be in this. So that's why I'm putting her on very likely. Maybe that's optimistic, and maybe even if she survives, she kind of just will be off doing her own thing and not really be involved with our Thunderbolts team, which is already all confirmed. The whole team was confirmed at the Doomsday announcement, except for Olga. So except for Taskmaster. So maybe I'm just being optimistic here. I mean, I don't have some strong feeling about Taskmaster either in the comics or in the MCU. I thought she was fine in Black Widow. I like the new design at Thunderbolts, so I'm curious to see what they do with her, and it's a cool character. But yeah, I'm putting her in very likely because I saw that quote from the director, and I think people are a bit too quick to assume that Marvel would just kill off a character because people don't like her. And I think a lot of the reason people don't like her is because she's a woman, and that's like I don't see Marvel just caving in to these fans who are giving these unfair opinions about characters. So that's why I put her in very likely. So she's very likely. The next little bunch here I will go through. I have pretty much all of the young Avengers slash champions heroes that we've met this saga, and I've kind of put them in very likely because, well, specifically Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop and Xochitl Gomez as America Chavez, or maybe not, mostly just Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop and then Kathryn Newton as Cassie Lang because if Miss Marvel is in this movie, then we've spent now two projects, which is one being the Marvels, where at the end of it, she obviously talks about Ant-Man having a daughter and she recruits Kate. And then in Daredevil Born Again, there's the episode with Miss Marvel's dad where she says she's off with friends in California, which is obviously teasing Champions slash Young Avengers. So I think if Miss Marvel's in this, you can't really do it without at least Kate and Cassie. So obviously that's Haley and Catherine Newton. So that's why I put them in very likely. And then I also put Dominique Thorne as Ironheart, who we also think is going to be part of this kind of younger team. Because Ironheart, the show is coming out. Excuse me, I think Ironheart's coming out June 24th, so coming out very soon. They've been setting her up with Wakanda Forever and then now Ironheart. We know a couple of Wakandans are going to be in the movie, so maybe they could bring her in. But I think it's another one of those characters where they introduced her to the saga. They gave her own show. She's going to be in this Avengers movie. So she falls in there as well. And then Xochitl Gomez is America Chavez from Multiverse of Madness. I mean, she's one of the maybe the only being right now in the multiverse that can travel the multiverse. So you're doing the multiversal movie, the multiversal traveler will be able to be in it. So, like I said, all these Young Avengers champions. The reason I'm saying Young Avengers slash champions is because, like, obviously a lot of the members of this team are Young Avengers from the comics, like Kate, um, Cassie. We think Billy and Tommy might be on the team. Like these people are obviously from Young Avengers, but I think we've heard that because a lot of the actors are getting older and it's taken a while. I mean, Haley and Kathryn Newton are 28, so like it's taken a while to get this project off the ground. So they're not really Young Avengers anymore. And then you bring Miss Marvel in, who is notoriously part of the Champions in the comics and not Young Avengers. So we've heard that they're going to rename this series to Champions instead. So from now on, I'll just reference it to that. But just wanted to make it clear that's what it is. So anyway, if Miss Marvel is in this, then I'm very confident that both Kate and Cassie will be in it because it'd be weird for them to tease this for two projects and then just like Kamala's there and Kate and Cassie aren't. I think that would just be weird. So, with their interconnected storytelling. So those two for sure. And then America Chavez, like she traveled the multiverse, so I feel like her as well. And they're giving Ironheart a show. So like I think there are going to be a lot of these younger heroes that are going to kind of come together maybe in between Doomsday and Secret Wars and be in Secret Wars and kind of set up this champion show that we've heard is happening for a long time. So yeah, I actually put another one of the champions in 50-50. We'll get to that later. So yeah, all those young Avengers people, I think they'll all be in this very likely. I put Samuel L. Jackson here as Nick Fury. Partly the reason being is that this might be like the last time he'll play the character. Um, he's not getting any younger. Obviously, he's an iconic actor, and later in his career, he'll probably want to take on like less roles and probably less. I was gonna say physically demanding. I mean, a Marvel movie, this role for him is not physically demanding, but it's just like a whole thing. So and there's a good chance that these movies upcoming will probably be his last chance to do it. And I could see him being in this and kind of just having a simple, bring people together role. Like maybe he'll work to try to help to bring the Young Avengers together because we saw him work with Miss Marvel in the Marvels, so maybe something like that. Or just kind of like bringing all the Avengers together because we know Thunderbolt Ross was trying to do that for Brave New World. So yeah, I think it's very likely he'll be in this. Not much else to say about that. Yeah, the next couple we'll group these together. So I put the whole cast of Loki in this. So I obviously know Tom Hiddleston's coming back, but I put Sophie DiMartino as Sylvie, Kihei Kwan as OB, Owen Wilson as Mobius, and then Wumi Masaku as B-15. So there's one big reason that I put these all on here is that we've heard from a lot of reliable sources that the whole Loki cast will come back and that the TVA will play kind of a huge role in this conflict, which makes sense because like it is the multiversal project, this saga that touched the most on the multiversal conflict. And I know it was associated a lot with Kang, and now we pivoted to Doctor Doom, but still, like we know Tom Hiddleston's in it. We know he'll have a big role. I mean, he's literally keeping the multiverse together by himself right now. So I could see kind of just the whole Loki cast coming back and us going inside the TVA and seeing if they side with Doom or side with Loki or try to defend Loki. Like I think Sylvie for sure. Like I think if Loki's in it, she's going to be in it, and then the rest are kind of me just assuming that if the TVA is involved, they'll all be involved. I mean, we saw B-15 in Deadpool and Wolverine. There's rumors that Owen Wilson was going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine at one point, so you got this cast of that people love and a lot of fun actors and a lot of prominent actors. So if they have time in their schedule, I could see them filming a quick scene for this. So I put them on very likely. The next category, the reason I wanted to group them together is because these are kind of the X-Men characters that were not announced out of all the other ones we heard. And I'll start with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. The movie made $1.6 billion dollars, and I think it was 1.6, 1.7. And if you're bringing in all these other X-Men characters and these mutants, we obviously have Professor X, Beast. They're bringing back Gambit, Channing Gambit, who wasn't Deadpool Wolverine. We know that for sure now. So I think if you're bringing back these X-Men characters and the fact that the movie made so much money and these characters are so popular, now they're in the MCU, albeit in a different timeline, but still in the MCU. So yeah, it feels like a lock that they'll come back. Again, even if it's a minor role, like you got these two actors who made a lot of money for you last summer, and you're already bringing back X-Men characters. It's not like it's gonna be far-fetched. Like I'm very confident they'll be in it. And in the same vein, I put Holly Berry, who played Storm in the original X-Men movies, and then Famke Janssen, who played Jean Grey in the original X-Men movies. I mean, we got the whole cast. Like we got Mystique, we got Nightcrawler, we got Professor X, we got Magneto. Like we got everyone except for these two. We didn't get Storm, we didn't get Jean Grey, we got Cyclops. Like we got everybody except for Storm and Jean Grey from the OG movies. And I think that as long as they can get this contract nailed down and the two of them are willing to do it, I find it very hard to believe that, two of the original X-Men and kind of iconic adaptations, especially Halle Berry as Storm, it would be very surprising to me if they just kind of missed out on this. I don't know. I'm not really sure what this X-Men timeline is. Like, I don't know if this timeline is the same timeline as the X-Men films, and that timeline kind of changed a lot, and it kind of all rebooted at the end of Days of Future Past. So I think it'd be really interesting actually if they explored that timeline. Maybe the X-Men timeline that Monica ended up in at the end of the Marvels with Beast is that timeline from the end of Days of Future Past, and that's how we kind of get Hugh Jackman Wolverine's there, Halle Berry Storm, Jean Grey. Like, I think that'd be really interesting. So that's just my theory. But either way, like, if you were bringing back all these heroes, all these mutant heroes from the OG movies and the OG actors, then I feel like you're gonna have to bring back. You don't have to, but like, I feel like it's very likely to bring back Storm and Jean Grey. So, and then same goes for Deadpool Wolverine. So, yeah, I think they'll all be back. I'm pretty confident about that. Very likely though, because I'm kind of just theorizing here, but it seems very likely from what we know. My last on the very likely list is Tessa Thompson because as Valkyrie, if Thor's in it, she'll be in it. Like I think she lives in the UK too, where it's filming. Like she was in Endgame. She's worked with the Russos before in Marvel stuff. Um, yeah, I think if Thor's in it, she'll be in it. It's pretty simple. I mean, maybe scheduling conflicts or something will come up, but if she can be in it, I'd be surprised if she wasn't in it. So that's all the very likely. Let me just read through them again. Benedict Wong, Paul Bettany, Tatiana Maslany, Don Cheadle, Olga Kurylenko, Dominique Thorne, Samuel L. Jackson, Haley Steinfeld, Sochi Gomez, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Sophie DiMartino, Kihei Kwan, Owen Wilson, Wumi Musaku, Halle Berry, Famke Janssen, Kathryn Newton, and Tessa Thompson. Sorry, like these pronunciations are all over the place, and it's messing with my brain. Um, yeah, those are all my very likely. So like my very likely tier is like it makes a lot of sense from what we know that these characters will return, and there's a chance that it doesn't work out, but I do think all those characters return. So the next tier is 50-50, and a lot of these are 50-50 for very different reasons. So I'll kind of just get into each of them, but it's pretty self-explanatory. Just like there's a chance they'll be in it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they aren't. So the first on this list is Danai Gurira as Okoye. We already know that a couple of other Wakandans or people from Wakanda Forever are coming back. We know Namor's coming back, and M'Baku, Shuri. So I think the next logical step would be that she's in it as well. But it was kind of odd to me that, they made this cast announcement and M'Baku and Shuri are coming back, but they didn't announce Okoye. Like, wouldn't you feel that if they announced the two Wakandans there, that they would announce Okoye with them and like some of the Midnight Angels as well from Wakanda Forever? I don't know. That's why it's 50-50 because it's like She's not a very prominent character, and I know the actor's very popular, so that could bring cadence to that a little bit. But um, maybe the whole M'Baku coming back kind of throws a bone in this, because or throws a wrench in this, because it makes sense Namor coming back because he's this very prominent character in the comics, and also in this storyline they're adapting. And then Shuri's the Black Panther. Of course, she'll come back, and I'm guessing Shuri is bringing Namor in, kind of asking a favor after their alliance at the end of the movie. So made sense there, but it feels like Ibaka might be a little out of his depth here with this conflict. I don't know. Like I love the actor and I love the character. I'm super happy to see. I'll be super happy to see him again, and his kind of interactions with Namor, because obviously they don't really get on very well. He called him Fishman in Wakanda Forever, but it feels like he's a bit out of his league here. Now, like Infinity War, they're on a battlefield. This they might be in space. We don't really know how this conflict's gonna play out. So I don't know. Maybe she should be in 50-50 or in very likely, but I put her in 50-50 because like it was just very odd to me that they announced the rest of the Wakandans, but not her. Like that just made me feel like they would group them together. But maybe I'm just not really thinking it through here. But again, she might be another one where they're kind of out of their depth in this conflict. So I put her in 50-50. My next two in the 50-50 are Charlie Cox and John Bernthal. Like I would love Born Again just ended yesterday. A great episode to end it, great two episodes to end it. But I would love to see these two in Avengers movie, but it's just one of those things where like you got street level characters, and the conflict that they're fighting right now is just not at all similar to what we're doing in Doomsday. So it's just like I could see them filming like a quick cameo, and like we see Spider-Man swinging around New York, and then we see maybe a character like Echo in New York or something. I didn't put her on there on this list because of real life situation. I think she's pregnant with her second child right now. Alok Cox as Echo, I mean. So you know I think Daredevil Warning just came out, so like the popularity of that maybe would say make the Russos say, you know what, we'll film a cameo of them fighting Doombots in New York or something like that. I don't know, something simple like that. But they're in 50-50 because they're very popular characters, and I know both of them we down to return. But it's just like with all the characters in this movie, is there really going to be is there really going to be room to have Daredevil and Punisher in this? I don't know, but I'd love to see it. But it might be a little too convoluted. Um, my next one of the 50-50 is Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch. And it's one of those things where I just don't know what they're doing with her. We've heard for a while that they might be trying to adapt a comic that was a Young Avengers comic that was Children's Crusade, which is basically where um, Doom kind of takes Wanda under his spell after some trauma she has about. It's a long story, but she has some trauma, and Doom kind of manipulates her, and they're together. And the Young Avengers, led by Billy and Tommy, who are obviously Wanda's kids, have to go and save her from Doom's protection, whatever. We heard that they may adapt that storyline in this movie in either Doomsday or Secret Wars or the Champion show whenever that was coming. Like we've heard that for a while, but I don't know if that's still the case. I think she's in 50-50 because like I don't know what they could really do with this movie, and we saw at the end of Multiverse of Madness like she died, and then Agatha kind of showed us that she's obviously not dead. And I do think she'll come back as this character like for a lot of roles, like a lot of appearances in the future. I just don't know when, and I don't know how, and it's just so up in the air right now. And the actor Elizabeth Olsen has talked a little bit about how she wants to kind of like do more indie films and move away from superhero stuff, at least for the time being. Um, that's not the most reliable thing in the world, because I think Robert Downey Jr. said that like last year, and then he ended up coming back to Marvel. Um, but she's 50-50 because I just don't know what they're going to do with that. Like, it's hard to say. And if they're not adapting to the Children's Crusade thing, would make a lot of sense, especially in Secret Wars. But um, I don't know. She's 50 because great character, probably either their most popular character or definitely their most popular female character. Like, those are reasons that she should absolutely come back. I think she should come back, but it's just up in the air. I don't know. It's hard to say. Um, so the next two on the list, kind of related, are Kathryn Hahn as Agatha, and then Joe Locke as Wiccan or Billy. Both last seen in the Agatha All Along show. Uh, I just don't know how they fit in the story. I mean, if they do fit in the story, it'll be a Young Avengers Champions thing, because they're looking for Tommy, who is obviously a member of the Young Avengers in the comics as well. But I think that's kind of that ending of Agatha where they're kind of looking for his brother, and Agatha's a ghost or whatever. Like I don't know if I see that kind of showing up at all in this film. I don't know, unless that stuff happens off screen, which there's no reason it would, because that show is very popular, and again they're setting up the Champions show. But I'd love to see them both return. I love Kathryn Hahn in that role. I think in that role, I think Joe Locke was great in Agatha, and especially as Wiccan. But it's just like, is there really room for them? Like, has to get through a lot of these characters, not Elizabeth Olsen, but the other characters in this is like, there's so many prominent characters that have serious ties to this multiversal conflict. It's hard to kind of bring in people that don't, and there's a couple they've already announced that are like that, but it's just up in the air. My next one at 50-50 is Chris Pratt. The reason he's in 50-50 is that I think if Chris Pratt has the ability to film Doomsday, he will absolutely be in it. But we learned that there's a bit of a scheduling conflict there. He's filming a TV show around the time where Doomsday is filming, which is right now. So I think the rumor was that if he's available to film this movie, he'll be in it, but if he's not, then he won't be. So it's like that's why it's 50-50 because literally it's a real life situation. It's like this is not rumors. It's like if he's available to be in it, he'll film scenes. If not, he won't. And maybe he'll film like a cameo or something, but the Russos love working with him. They just worked with him on Electric State. Um and then obviously they worked with him in Avengers, both Avengers movies before. So if he's able to be in it, he'll be in it, but he might not be. So that's why it's 50-50. The last name on the 50-50 list is Scarlett Johansson. This is half me reading into rumors and half just like, all right, we've got all the other original actors expected to come back. We know RDJ's back. Chris Evans is reported to be back. We're expecting Jeremy Renner to come back. We're expecting more Ruffalo to come back. Chris Hemsworth confirmed. So it's like, I know she's dead, and I don't think they're going to revive her. But how difficult is it to bring in a variant from their timeline, or like something Doom would maybe do to kind of manipulate their minds by bringing in like a variant? It would mess with Hawkeye. We know that. So it's one of those things where I did see a rumor a while back from Daniel RPK, who's obviously reliable. And it's that combined with the fact that like she is an OG6 Avenger and the rest of the cast are returning or expected to return. So it's 50-50. I'm kind of leaning closer to that it's unlikely that she comes back, at least for this movie, but I put her in 50-50 because of that reason. Like I saw a rumor and all the OG6 are probably coming back. So that's her 50-50 category. Denai Guerrera, Charlie Cox, John Bernthal, Elizabeth Olsen, Kathryn Hahn, Joe Locke, Chris Pratt, Scarlett Johansson. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So the last category is probably unlikely, and I just want to make this clear, like pretty much every character in this probably unlikely category I want to see back, but logistically and schedule wise, like it's just not possible. So the first one on this list, as much as it hurts to say, is Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. At this point, I think it's more likely that he comes back as 2099 from Spider-Verse. Like that's the funny part about it. Um, dude, I would love to see Moon Knight in this, but like where is he gonna come in? Like he just doesn't really fit in this conflict. It kind of falls in the Charlie Cox, John Bernthal category. It's like where do they fit in here? We haven't heard any rumors about him coming back. We haven't seen Moon Knight at all since the show came out. I think they're kind of trying to save him for the supernatural side of things, which was supposed to be explored in Blade, but now that's kind of been delayed indefinitely. I think we're leaning toward a Midnight Suns project, but and Moon Knight would obviously be involved in that. I think he'll be involved in more supernatural compared to the street level stuff, as much as I'd love to see him with all the Daredevil stuff. Um, yeah, I don't think he fits in this story. If it was up to me, I'd put him in it, but everything we know, I just don't think Moon Knight's going to be in this. So he's probably unlikely. Would love to be wrong. Kind of similar to the supernatural characters, I put the Werewolf by Night cast in it. So obviously, I'm trying to remember the God. Well, I know the characters. Obviously, there's Werewolf by Night, and then there was Elsa Bloodstone, and then there was Man Thing from Werewolf by Night, the special presentation. They just don't fit in. I thought that was a fun special presentation. I do like those characters, and I do think we will see them again, especially in a potential Midnight Suns thing, kind of the supernatural crossover next saga, but when they kind of do away with the multiverse. But um, you know, I just don't think they fit in. It's same with Oscar Isaac, they just don't fit in. So next one on the list was Evangeline Lilly, who plays the Wasp. The reason she's here is because she retired from acting like a year ago, and who knows? Marvel could knock on her door and drop a big wad of cash and say, "Well, Paul Rudd's in this. Can you come back too?" And maybe she'll unretire from acting. I don't know, but that's why she's probably unlikely. But this was like a little chance there. But like she literally retired from acting, so I don't see the Wasp being in this. Like you got Cassie in it, you're gonna have Paul Rudd in it, or Cassie's probably in it. You got Scott in it, so you got your share of Ant-Man people. I don't think I don't think the Wasp can be her actor literally retired. So, um, I put Scar on this list from the end of She-Hulk. I don't even need to get into that. Who knows? I don't know what's happening with that. He won't be in this movie. Um, I put all of the Guardians minus Star-Lord because obviously Chris Pratt's in the 50-50 section. Um, Again, I just don't think they fit into this story they're trying to tell. I hate saying that for everybody, but it kind of applies to a lot of people in this category. Um, because the Chris Pratt thing is like the way Guardians 3 ended, they clearly teased that he would come back. They said Star-Lord would return. And they also got a tag with the Guardians kind of fighting off in space, but the way I kind of read that Guardians ending is that, you know, the Guardians might not we might not ever see that team in the Guardians again. Just so you know, like the Guardians will live on. They will be fighting off in space, probably off screen. But yeah, I think now that the Star-Lord and the Guardians are separate, I don't know. I could see Star-Lord coming back because of that tease and because of everything I said earlier, but I don't know if any of the Guardians really fit into this. I think next saga, when they focus more on kind of space stuff with the Fantastic Four and um kind of cosmic stuff with Nova. We know the Nova show is coming soon. Soon. It's coming. We know that. But I think they kind of fit in more in next saga if we're gonna do a new Guardians team and kind of adapt maybe adapt Annihilation and stuff like that. Then I could see it, but I don't know about this movie. And the last group of people on this list is the Eternals. The movie flopped. I liked it. I liked the Eternals. It wasn't perfect, but I think Chloe Zhao did a good job with it, and I think the whole cast was good. But maybe they could sneak one or two Eternals in this, just kind of say, hey, they're still here, but that's another team that I either think we're not going to see ever again, or again, they will fit into more of that stuff I was just saying, the cosmic kind of space side of things once we get into next saga. Because I think next saga will be more kind of mutant and supernatural focused. I'm not saying there won't be like street level stuff anymore, but that's the kind of thing I think will be the focus of the Fantastic Four and all that. So I think it would make sense that it would kind of be pushed back, the Eternals return be pushed back. I said that they might not come back. I do think they will return, at least some of them, because I think those are good characters, and then maybe another director, another storyteller could find a better story for them, and it could be more profitable and be more enjoyable for fans. But um, yeah, the movie flopped. Fans didn't really like the movie. So yeah, critically and commercially didn't do well, and add on to that the fact that they again just do not fit in the multiversal conflict storyline. That's why they're probably unlikely. I would be shocked if any of the Eternals are in this, to be honest. I mean, like I said, maybe like one of the more prominent actors, like Angelina Jolie or Richard Madden, like maybe they come in because they're a big name. But I don't see it. I really don't see it for a lot of these supernatural characters. So again, I'm probably unlikely list is Oscar Isaac, Werewolf by Night, the whole Werewolf by Night cast, Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp, Scar, the Guardians minus Star Lord, and then the Eternals. So that's all my list right there. That's all the names right there. Let me real quick count out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 people 100% returning. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Riveting content, right? So between my 100% returning and very likely list, that is 30 names. So that would be, we got 25, I believe, in the announcements. That would be 55 names. We heard there would be in between 50 to 60 characters for Doomsday. So I'm right in between with that. So I'm gonna put on my bet now that the 100% returning and very likely list is our Avengers Doomsday cast. And I know it's a bit crazy. People are gonna be like, "Where's Elizabeth Olsen?" Fine, like throw Elizabeth Olsen in there. That's 56 names. It still falls in the category as well. So I'll put Elizabeth Olsen in there as well. So that's 56 names. So it's what do we go through today? That was 31 names. So 31 names went through today that are 100% returning or very likely. That is who I think will fill out the rest of the cast of Avengers Doomsday. And I don't know when we'll learn of this, whether it's from set photos or deadline reports or um, Marvel announcing it themselves or at San Diego Comic-Con. Like, I don't know where they're going to announce the rest of this, but I do feel like we'll know a couple more as we get closer to the end of filming. Filming really just started. So we've got very minimal set leaks so far, and we'll kind of see how that plays out. Maybe we'll get more. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm a bit cautiously optimistic because they kind of pivoted last second, and that's a bit concerning. And I am also a bit concerned that like the people they announced in the announcement are gonna have bigger roles than the people they didn't announce, and it'd be kind of crazy for like these legacy X-Men actors to get more screen time than like Brie Larson and Benedict Cumberbatch and Tom Holland and trying to who else? The Young Avengers, like characters like that who've been kind of building up this whole saga. It would feel kind of cheap to me to have like Alan Cumming, Nightcrawler, who I'm so hyped to see, have more screen time than any of these characters they've actually been building up throughout the saga. That would feel kind of lame to me. So I'm cautiously optimistic because everything we've heard so far sounds really interesting. It's adapting my favorite comic storyline of all time, which is Time Runs Out, by Jonathan Hickman, and the Secret Wars is like kind of my favorite. Oh, Secret Wars is kind of like my favorite individual. Making sure the mic's still on. Secret Wars is like my favorite individual comic, literally of all time. So that's another reason to be cautious, but another reason to be excited because it's great material they're pulling from. Um, and I trust the Russos. I know they've been a bit unsuccessful since Endgame came out, but the way I see it is like they've made four Marvel movies: Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, and Winter Soldier, and they've all been amazing movies. So clearly, Marvel and them are a great match, and they both kind of need each other right now to kind of close out this multiverse saga. So I have reasons for optimism, just from what I think they're adapting and the cast so far, and the Russo brothers coming back. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. Like I said, I don't know when we'll get new updates on this. If there's any huge updates, I'd love to hop on the mic if I have time and kind of talk about it because I am excited about this movie. And I do want to talk more about Marvel for this channel. So yeah, that's my prediction for the rest of the Avengers Doomsday cast. You know what? I'll read it all through and then we can see how correct I am when the actual cast comes out. So, rest of Avengers Doomsday cast. This is who I think it'll be: Chris Evans, Haley Atwell, Mark Ruffalo, Amon Villani, Jeremy Renner, Tom Holland, Brie Larson, Tiana Paris, Benedict Cumberbatch, Lashana Lynch, and Charlize Theron. Benedict Wong, Paul Bettany, Tatiana Maslany, Don Cheadle, Olga Kurylenko, Dominique Thorne, Samuel L. Jackson, Haley Steinfeld, Sochi Gomez, Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, Sophie DiMartino, Kihei Kwan, Owen Wilson, Wumi Masaku, Holly Berry, Famke Janssen, Kathryn Newton, Tessa Thompson, and Elizabeth Olsen. So that is who I think will fill out the Avengers Doomsday cast. There's going to be surprises. Some of that's going to be wrong. Some people are going to miss out. Some people are going to come in. Maybe even people I didn't list today. Maybe there'll be characters that we haven't met yet that they're going to introduce in this movie. That'd be awesome. So yeah, there it is. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned for more Marvel content from Rogue Eye Media and from me. And yeah, thank you so much for listening and see ya.